There we go. Yes, that's undefeated for Dimir Control, guys. What's going on, guys? If you want to support our content and pick up this month's amazing Patreon rewards, you can do so at patreon.com/itresolves. If you're interested in custom playmats and sleeves, visit yourplaymat.com and use code ITRESOLVES10YP for 10% off your entire purchase. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to some more gameplay videos. Today we are going to be jumping back into Standard, but before we do that, if you are not already, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really would mean a lot. We are a small community. Any newcomers are welcome. We're happy to have you guys here, and we certainly hope you guys enjoy the videos. If you do, leave a little thumbs up. That would really mean a lot. But today, we are jumping into Dimir Control. Now, this list was taken from MTG Goldfish. I've been creating a lot of my own lists, but this is one that I thought I would give a shot to because we haven't really played much Control yet, and so I kind of wanted to just see how it went. But obviously, this is a control list, so a lot of this is just removal and counter. We've got Bloodchief's Thirst, we've got Infernal Grasp, one of the new cards here. We do have the Meathook Massacre here, so we're going to be able to kind of sweep the board a few times, most likely, as well as the Shadow's Verdict here. So a lot of options in the way of getting rid of stuff. Siphon Insight, another new card, instant for 2 mana. Look at the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. Exile one of them face down and put the other on the bottom of that library. You may look at you may look at and play the exiled card. For as long as it remains exiled, you can spend mana as though it were any color to cast it. So this is going to allow us to steal some stuff from the opponent, as well as Xanathar, actually, which is a really interesting one. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose target opponent. Until the end of the turn, that player can't cast spells. You can look at the top card of their deck at any time. You can play it from their library and spend mana as though it were any color to cast it as well. So we've got a number of things that are able to steal whatever the opponent is doing, which is kind of nice. Obviously, a number of counter spells: Negate, Jwari Disruption, Disdainful Stroke. Saw it coming is in here as well. Dragon Turtle, a very interesting card. 3/5 with Flash for 3. With Drag Below. When it enters the battlefield, tap it, and up to 1 target creature an opponent controls, they don't untap during their controller's next untap steps. So this is kind of an interesting card. Normally we only see this kind of ability on a creature, like a low ground creature that comes into play, sorcery speed on our turn, like a Mana War or something like that, that taps stuff. But this having Flash can be really, really good. We can play it at the beginning of the combat step on our opponent's turn and still leave up a lot of other stuff as well. Memory Deluge, look at the top X cards of your deck, where X is the amount of mana spent to cast this spell. Put 2 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. You also get flashback on this, so you can play this for 7 from the graveyard. That's going to allow you to look at quite a number of cards and again pick 2 of them. And then the last card here is Iymrith Desert Storm, a 5/5 4/5 with flying. It has word for as long as it's untapped. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then if you have fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. So a very, very powerful threat here, and definitely a way to finish the game off. In terms of the lands here, we do have Hall of the Storm Giants as a win condition. Only 2 of them there, but we also have things like Field of Ruin to deal with the opponent's lands and whatnot. So we do have a full sideboard as well. So if you do play in match play, you can certainly use that. But we will not be. We are just going to be hanging out with this original base list. So without further ado, guys, let's give this one a shot. Again, we haven't played a lot of Control as of yet, so I'm kind of excited to see how this one goes. All right, guys, here we are. This is an interesting hand. It's kind of a bad hand. I'm gonna try it though. The only reason I say that, we do have all the lands we could possibly need in the beginning of the game here. We do have the black source as well, which I think is worth it. And there we go. We do have a Siphon Insight, so that's not too bad. We can play that at the end of this turn and hopefully steal something. Let's go ahead and play it now. And let's see what we get. We might end up running into a counterspell here, but this is a nice way to burn a counterspell because this is an inherent 2-for-1 and that we just have flashback with it. Okay. I mean, I'll take it. Not gonna hurt anything. Let's throw this out and we'll just pass. Again, you'll notice, I mean, of course, this is a control deck, so it's not a surprise, but we will see a lot of just, you know, play pass kind of mindset here. Makes a lot of sense for a deck like this, of course, but let's go ahead and flash this back again and see if we draw anything else worthwhile here. I think we'll just take the lands. Get to just play it out here, and again, pass. We've got the Infernal Grasp up. We also have the Memory Deluge, which is just a really nice little card here. We've kind of been lucky that the opponent hasn't played that much, to be honest. Okay. That's perfectly fine, actually. I mean, it's not great for us, but... Oh, okay. Interesting. So this is a zombies list. Kind of. We'll see if it's actually a zombies list. This is a bit interesting, though. I wouldn't expect to see so many tapped lands in a zombies list. That doesn't seem great to me, but hey, maybe it's not technically a zombies list. I don't know. Okay. They're going to play that land. Makes a lot of sense. We're going to Memory Deluge. All right, we put 2 of these into our hand. I think it's definitely Siphon Insight. And I guess we'll take the Jwari Disruption. Not that we plan to really use it, but we might. All right, do we just play the Desert Storm here? I'm going to say yes. It doesn't really seem like they're running much counter magic. And if they are, they're at a minimum here because they only had 2 lands. Now, they could very easily have a kill spell for this, but they are going to have to pay 4 to do it, which is not going to be... I think something that they can do is what I will say. And so this should be able to stick on the field for at least a turn. And then we've got the Infernal Grasp next turn to kind of deal with any creatures or anything like that that they play. And they may just not have anything. I mean, they could play the Betrayer King, I suppose. But it looks like they might be leaving up a counter spell here. Seems fair to me. Kind of nice that we just get to steal their lands with the Siphon Insight. They did have to discard a card. That's interesting. Let's go ahead and do this. And first things first, I mean, we're definitely going to just attack in here. There's no reason really not to. Got plenty of counter magic up. We've got plenty we can do. Not super worried about that. We draw a card. There's a Meathook Massacre. Do we like the Meathook Massacre? Not really at the moment. I'm just gonna pass. There's no reason really for us to do anything. I mean, we've got a big 5/5 here, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. I'll let that hit. Do we want to Infernal Grasp it, is the question. Not yet. We can wait. If they've got a counterspell, they've got a counterspell, but we've got plenty that we can do to kind of deal with it. Oh, perfect. Okay, let's disrupt that. Since they tapped out for it, that's an easy counter. And let's go ahead and then kill this now. And there we go, guys. We got the win. That was a very, very smooth play pattern. Loved it. Let's jump into game 2. All right, guys, here we are for our next game. And do we want to keep this? I think so. The question becomes, do we want to use the Jwari Disruption turn 1 as just a land? And I could certainly see a case where that might be what we do. You know, I'm going to wait. I'm going to try not to here. Might be incorrect, I don't know, to be honest, but this just provides us with a little bit of an out, depending on what they decide to play here. So if they've got a 2-drop, we obviously just get to counter it, which is nice, and that's a great one to counter. So let's get that out of there. Perfect. Yeah, couldn't have asked for anything better there. Let's go ahead, let's play the double blue, and we'll pass. Again, leaving up Jwari Disruption or Infernal Grasp, as well as the Siphon Insight here. So we've got some options. If they've got another 2 or 3 drop, if they drop a land and play a 3-drop, we should be in good shape. Do want to use these up as we can. Obviously, they get a lot worse as the game goes on. So the general idea is you play these as quickly as you can and get these out of there. Speaking of your intercept, you control no creatures with Decayed. Okay. Let's hope they have a 2-drop. And they do. Perfect. We're just going to counter it. That does feel really nice. It's been a while since I've played Control, and man, do I miss it. Control decks are just so, just good. Not for the opponent, obviously. Now, worth noting, we do have sweepers in our deck and things like that, but the truth is, we're just trying to slow them down to get to one of our big spells later on, so not terribly worried about too much here. Create, that's fine. We'll let that hit, obviously. And whenever one or more creatures dies. Okay, let's Memory Deluge. Let's be mana efficient here. I think that's probably the right call. We get 2 of these. Might actually be the Infernal Grasp. But no, let's guarantee the land here. I think that that's fairly important for us, so let's make sure we do that. Unfortunately, it isn't a black land. We kind of wanted it to be, but that's okay. I think we'll pass. I don't really love the fact that we've only got 1 black source here. Now, we can blow this blue source up and go get a black source, of course, but doesn't really leave us in a great position. Maybe it's the right thing to do, we'll see, but so far we've done a really good job of staving off any sort of major onslaught by their group here, so we might be okay. And we still get to leave up the Infernal Grasp this turn, so that'll deal with the champion if we'd like it to. Perfect. So what this allows us to do is fizzle the spell. Or excuse me, not fizzle the spell. I thought it would fizzle the spell, but I guess not. But it does get rid of the little champion of the perished here, which is a very good card, by the way. All right, let's drop this. I think we just are gonna end up throwing this out, but we actually get to kill this too. Yeah, so they are gonna get a little 2/2, that's fine. Let's throw out the dragon though. This is just such a difficult thing for any deck to deal with because most removal isn't gonna do it, at least on its own. Fine, totally fine. We're gonna get to, I mean, they can attack with all this and that's totally cool, but we're gonna get to kill one of them, no problem. And the other one gets sacrificed here, of course. They get another one, that's cool. All right, let's see. Part of me wants to Siphon Insight now, just to see what we can get. The other part of me just wants to wait and Memory Deluge. I think let's attack, actually. I'm okay with getting some damage in here. We're most likely not going to die this coming turn. Oh, that's fantastic. So we could just drop this for 3 and just kill everything. So yeah, let's do that. Easy. Get everything out of here. Yes, they get some stuff, but we gain some life in the process. We also don't lose our 5/5. Which is pretty useful. And now anytime something of theirs dies, whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, we gain a life. So yeah, we're taking damage, but we're also staving some of that damage off here, which is quite helpful. Sure. All right, there's another land. I mean, we can truthfully just kind of really go for it here, and throw this out. Which I actually kind of like. I'm gonna do it. We'll wait on the lands. Let's attack in. There's a lot of damage. This cannot block, worth noting. So they're probably gonna need to block with that, sure. That gains us a life, which is great. They do get a little creature here, but that's not the end of the world. We'll throw this out on black because, again, we do have a couple of black spells in our hand here that we're going to need. And now, I mean, they're in a position where they really have to think about what they can do because I don't know that there's a lot. I guess they can bring something back here. Okay. Yeah, but they can't really do too much with it. It is a Death Toucher worth noting, so we do have to think about that, but cool. Take a good bit there, no doubt, but 2 of these are going to die, so we're going to gain life back, which is kind of helpful. The decay mechanic is very, very good, but we do have a lot that kind of helps us against that. All right, so we just can win? Am I correct in saying that? So we just kill this. This little token cannot block. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, yeah, okay, perfect. So then we just do this. And we did it. We did it. We're amazing. Dude, this deck is really good. All right, let's move on to the next game. And hey, we ranked up tier 3 again. All right, guys, here we are. This may be our last game. Very much depends on how long this game goes, but certainly going to keep this fairly straightforward. Let's go ahead and play the Swamp here. We have the Pathway that we can throw out for blue, which is going to give us Siphon Insight plus Infernal Grasp. And then we've obviously, of course, got the Field of Ruin for the follow-up turn. But yeah, this is pretty strong keep, honestly. I'm really liking this deck, I'll be honest. I think this is a fairly solid one. Let's see what they go for. Oh, Valky. Oh, very nice. Okay. Yeah, so they're going to get to steal a thing, which is the Desert Doom. And then we're just going to kill it. And I think the play is definitely just to kill it, so let's go for it. Valky is a very difficult card. Easy to deal with in the early game. Late game, it can be a big problem. And so very happy to get that off the field right now. Let's throw out the land, and let's just pass. We've got Siphon Insight here, so we can throw that out at the end of the turn and just see what they get, or what we get, excuse me. Fully expect this to be a very discard-heavy deck, though. Interesting. Okay. Obviously gonna hit them. Perfect. We're just gonna get to essentially kill this eventually. We can do it next turn, in fact, if we'd like. Let's drop this. And yeah, I am just gonna go ahead and get rid of this. Pretty straightforward. We are losing a good bit of life here, worth noting, so we do have to kind of keep that in mind. Man, they just have tons of these little guys. Sure. Yeah, you got it. Just gonna throw out the Field of Ruin here, and I think we do throw out the Desert Doom. It's a fairly challenging card, like I said, to deal with here, solely because they have to spend 4 extra mana, so like a Bloodchief's Thirst isn't going to get it done here because they have to pay that ward cost. So this may at least slow the damage race a little bit, and then we can keep that slowing up. We can slow them down even more, is the takeaway. Okay. Interesting. All right. Gonna play the land here, and I think the play is going to be to flash this out and tap this. Gains indestructible until the end of the turn. Let's attack. Let's be aggressive here. They're gonna block. I assume sacrifice this and make it indestructible, which is great for us. They're trying to keep us from drawing cards here, which makes a lot of sense. Play with fire. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you kind of got me on that one. And they just trade it off. Wow. Okay, not what I expected at all. But sure. So that's going to transform this. Once they move to combat, though... This is an interesting one. We need a Meathook Massacre kind of style thing here going on. That would be great. Let's tap this for now. This is I think, a bigger threat in general. Do we want to deck thin here? I don't necessarily think so. This does get to attack in. That's a little scary, but that's fine. It's a good game, for sure. Oh, perfect. Okay, so that helps a lot. We're just gonna throw this out here. I can't believe they sacrificed the Predator. That seems a little lackluster to me. All right, we'll see what happens. We are gonna want to get these Memory Deluges out though, because we do want to draw something to beat their board here. I really like the Dragon Turtle, funny enough. I think this is a really silly card, but I actually really like it. All right, they didn't play anything. That's pretty helpful. Do we want to Siphon Insight, or do we just wait? I think we just wait. We can attack in here to draw a card. I'm going to do it. We're going to try it. They've got a way to kill it. They've got a way to kill it. That's fine. This only has the ward when it's untapped, by the way. Oh. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it. It's gonna get rid of all these, which is great. That's about as great as we could have hoped for. That exiles a lot, so that's very, very helpful. Here they're gonna kill it. That's fine. Not great for us, obviously, but it's not the end of the world. I think we're gonna just play this out for that. The only thing I could have seen leaving up for that was Tibalt, which, I don't know, doesn't seem necessarily amazing here. Okay, I think we're gonna take these two. We just need all the removal I think that we can get. There's the Infernal Grasp, and we just pass again. Now I feel a lot better off. We've got plenty of stuff that we can do here. We've got a million pieces of removal. Like, not a lot I feel like we could lose to. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. What's the ward cost? We have to discard a card? That's fine. Do we want a Memory Deluge? I think we can just wait, actually. Oh, nice. They're getting the Siphon Soul out of there. That makes sense. Or whatever it's called. Is that it? Siphon's Insight. Alright, let's do this. I am gonna discard the Memory Deluge, probably. Because we can just play that again. It's not really the end of the world. And that gets that off the field. We've also get to then hold on to all of our removal, which is fantastic. And here we just pass. We just need a threat. And truthfully, the Hall of the Storm Giants or whatever is probably going to be our best bet here. Perfect. Okay, so what do we need? What do we need? I think Siphon Insight for sure. Probably just the Saw It Coming. This is just going to give us, again, all the answers in the world here, truthfully. And I think we just pass. This is classic Dimir Control. You get to a point, especially against decks like this, where you don't necessarily have a lot to do, but you have all the answers in the world. And so you're pretty easily going to be able to take this down here. At least I would assume. We'll certainly see. Perfect. We can start stealing their stuff. I'm just going to keep going. There's really no reason not to. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we can actually just rip Volky here. And take this game over, I think. We also still get to leave up Disdainful Stroke. Exile the top card of each player's deck. Dude, Tibalt, so good. So good. Perfect. Alright, so we're just going to pass. And we've got Disdainful Stroke up. A Tibalt on the field and plenty to do with it. So there we go. Yes, that's undefeated for Dimir Control, guys. Let's chat about this. All right, so Dimir Control, I'll be honest. My worry with this deck was obviously this is built for match play, so this is built for best of 3. And playing it on the best of one ladder when you're up against a lot of aggro lists, things like that, I was fully expecting this to have a lot more trouble than it did have. Now, that being said, it handled everything beautifully. Now, that last game, a little bit touch and go, I felt. There were a few moments where I was like, if they just rip a good creature or, you know, a Tybalt or something like that, like, we could have been in some major trouble, but we ended up getting there. Memory Deluge, all-star card. Siphon Insight, amazing. Like, just everything in this list seems to work extraordinarily well together. So I very much enjoyed this one. This is a stark contrast to the deck we played earlier, which was the Ruin Crab combo deck, which if you want to check that out, you certainly should. But very, very good. I highly suggest trying this deck out. It is very solid. Control decks, I think, are very, very well suited right now for certain things, for a lot of things, truthfully. And so I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys did. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you're not already. It'd be really great to have you in our amazing community. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again real soon.